So first and foremost, I really want to congratulate Semper Energy and Mary Walshock. And I will simply say that to say that Debbie Reed and Mary Walshock have had an impact on our organization and on me personally would be an understatement. And you could say the same thing about Herb Klein and Dwayne Roth. And we're lucky every day that these are the types of people who we get to work with when we think about and promote and work within San Diego's economy. Debbie and Mary are pretty amazing. There are two remarkable women, they're two remarkable leaders, and they're two local treasures. And now I have an opportunity to introduce to you another remarkable woman and another remarkable leader and a true local treasure. Janice Brown is the founder and the owner of the Brown Law Group. In addition to that, she invests in and has helped to create numerous other businesses. She's a respected attorney, entrepreneur, and community leader. Tonight, Janice becomes the second woman to ever chair the EDC Board of Directors, only the second person of color to ever chair the EDC Board of Directors, and the first small business owner to be our chair in a long, long time. With some of you recently, I had an opportunity to travel with Janice to see a few different metros around the country, and in one of them, we had the opportunity to speak to another mayor in another great city. And he told us that if your job is economic development, which mine is, if your job is economic development and you are not speaking about economic inclusion, and if you are not working on economic inclusion, then you are not doing your job. And quite frankly, I think he's right. And I know that our new chair thinks he's right. And she's going to come here and talk to you about that. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the new chair of the EDC Board of Directors, Ms. Janice Brown.
Could do that all night, so so let me just tell you that I feel so grateful. I feel full of gratitude. I'm going to talk about 3 reasons. One, that I had a congressman call me badass. Let me tell you, y'all are going to hear about that. Number 2, that I got to come out with this amazing Stevie Wonder song. And I didn't know about it till yesterday because Mark didn't, they were trying to surprise me. So I was like, I can do that, I can do that. And 3, that I have this opportunity to share this message with you and to follow in the footsteps of these amazing people that you've heard about tonight. Finally, being grateful in San Diego is really not a hard thing, right? I mean, it's kind of hard not to be grateful. And if you aren't grateful here, we really don't want to hear about it. Keep it to yourself. I want to say that one of the major reasons I'm here are the people that came before me. Jim Zortman, I did not expect Jim Zortman to say that what he wanted to do in this organization is to help this organization become more inclusive. I was like, okay, I like him. He's a military guy. My dad was a military guy. But I didn't expect him to deliver that message. So it was really helpful for me that he teed up that message so that I can step into his path. He has helped, and I said this is corny, but he steered the ship. He's a Navy guy. Okay, so I'm making that. But here's what's great about it. He's done it with good cheer. He's done it with vision. And he also is really funny. And you know how important it is to be involved in an organization that you commit your time to, you commit your energy to? You want people to be funny and inspirational because it's, you know, you're giving up your time. You want things to feel good and light. And Jim did that for me. There were 3 challenges that Jim set up for us. And he said the challenges that we need to do is 1, we need to create opportunities for the untapped talent that's here in this town. Now that's important to remember. We're not talking about talent that that's not there. We're not saying we're going to imbue people with talent. We're going to tap into people who may not have had their talent exposed. The second thing we want to do is we want to make San Diego more affordable. For all of us who travel around this country, when people say, where are you from? Because I like them asking me that question, right? So I go, San Diego. And they say, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And then the next thing they say, but it's so expensive, right? So we have to make San Diego affordable for everyone here. And that does mean housing. It does mean housing, but we gotta do it. We can't just be trying to protect our own neighborhoods. We gotta think about the future. And then the third thing, okay, so I have some builders here. They're like, go, Janice, go. And the third thing is really have some respect for small business. I'm, one of the few small business owners, and when I first joined the organization, Lori Saba is the person that got me to join this organization, and I said, well, there's all these big companies. Why would I join this organization? And then she said, oh, don't worry about it. You can just come to a meeting, every other meeting, and now I'm the chair. So don't believe Lori when she gets you involved in the organization, because you could end up being the chair. I want to talk briefly about Debbie Reed. When I first joined this organization, Debbie Reed was the chair. And what Debbie Reed does is she transforms organizations. And she transformed this one. And Debbie Reed transformed this organization and helped us to be in this position that we can talk about economic inclusion with some integrity. And how she did that, not because she was the first woman to chair EDC, even though she was. She did it because she had the courage to have a vision. The next thing she did, she articulated her vision. Because it's not enough just to have it in your head. You have to be able to express it in a way where people can understand what you're saying. And the third thing she did is she had faith. Being a leader means that you have faith in people to execute on your plan. And that's what she did. Now, she's very lucky in this regard because she had Mark Cafferty. And Mark Cafferty is a lovely person that you would want to have as a leader of this organization. When I talk to his staff, and you should, they're all these millennials, they just look so smart, and they know about computers and stuff like that. And when you talk to them about their experience, they say, this is a great job. I love this job. This is a great place. I worked in this other environment. I didn't like it as much as this environment. That's what great leaders do. They inspire people to actually execute on a vision. And that's what's happened here because of Debbie and because of Mark. The other thing that Debbie was really clear about is it was important that our goals be measurable. Because one of the challenges you have when you're talking about something lofty like we're talking about is there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of blah, blah, blah about these things. And what we decided we wanted to be about is something that we could show that was measurable. So we're going to show you measurable things as we continue with this. It's not going to be just me getting up here a year later and saying, hey, let's give these awards to these great people. It's going to be things that we've done to move the needle. Whoop. Did I get a whoop? Oh, that was great. All right, let's get a whoop. Okay. And then finally, we're talking about creating jobs for the entire region. Now let me say that again. The entire region. Not just the city, not just the county, but the entire region. And the reason why that is such a critical thing for us is because we are the Regional Economic Development Corporation, for one. But in addition to that, if you look at the research behind what we're trying to do, the research focuses on metro regions. This is where the action is. The federal government, we'll let that go. The state government, we won't say much about it, but this is the game right here. So we're in the sweet spot. And besides, if you do know the EDC, and I don't mean any disrespect to any of your other organizations, but it really is the hardest working group in showbiz. Oh, I see now. Mary Walshaw. Now, this is really simple for me. She's a force of nature, period. Mary has, Dr. Walshaw, has the empathy the ability to connect, the acumen, and the intellect to share San Diego's story all over the globe. Because people think we're just a pretty place. We're more than that. We're a tech center. And she has the ability to describe that like poetry, and not the poetry that you don't want to listen to, that puts you to sleep, but the kind of poetry that inspires you. Dr. Walshock does that. Now, there's a whole bunch of other people here. I saw Mel, I see Phil, I see a bunch of faces that I know. I will have a drink with you. Well, not all of you, but I'll have a drink with you when we go outside and we're going to have a toast. But I want to move on to our specific agenda, to our campaign. Our campaign, yes. Life-changing. Oh, you guys are the best up front here. You guys have my sound. Yes, life-changing. Now, here's the great thing about this campaign that was begun last year. When people ask a lot of people about San Diego why they're here, many people say, because it changed my life. This environment changed our lives. But here's what we also have the responsibility to do. We need to change other people's lives. We need to be about changing other people's lives. And to do that, we have to embrace change. And that's difficult at times for people. But change is going to come, so why not embrace it? Number of companies in this room have joined EDC's mission to help us understand how to communicate San Diego's vision and mission throughout the world. We have one example, and she's here. Where's my girl, Carrie Sawyer? Yay, there she is. She's from Qualcomm. And we're going to show a nice little video of her. And oh, one thing I'll say this at the beginning before the end. You have to be as cool as Carrie to be in a video. So just judge yourself by how cool she is. And if you're not that cool, then please don't try to get in a video. All right, show it.
It would be amazing if I could move somewhere where I could play volleyball all year. I got this crazy idea. I'm going to move to San Diego so I can play more volleyball. And this is my last Chicago winter. Everything that I do is seen through the lens of people and experience and the holistic view of it. I get to help make technology easier to use for people. I am a manager of inclusion and diversity, and so what that means is that firstly, I get to help to create a great work environment. I get to bring human-centered design techniques to our diversity and inclusion team and making sure that all the voices are being represented in the technology that we're developing, because we, Qualcomm, are literally developing the technology of the future. San Diego is like the best kept secret in the United States. When you get up and you wake up and you go outside, it's going to be blue and sunny, and that kind of seeps into like who you are, which makes it a really unique place to live. My professional experience in San Diego has been different, and just really in that I've been able to kind of bring more creativity to my role, and I think that part of that is just the culture that we're in and the environment that we're in. There's so many things that really just are great examples of that kind of creative freedom and that creative expression. We've got all this tech happening in San Diego. We've got all this biotech that's booming. We've got like breweries galore. And why does that happen? Because there's this like creative space where people can kind of come and like make the thing that they want.
And if you're really nice to her, she'll be your friend. Okay, so now let's talk about the changing part. So, like every other region, San Diego is changing. But we have a secret sauce. And I can tell you that I've had the opportunity to leverage that secret sauce. And here's what I believe is San Diego's secret sauce. We connect with everyone. No one in this town says, well, what did your dad do? Or what did your grandfather do? Or what's your lineage? They ask, what can you do? And if you want to do something for the community, you can play with us. That's a huge advantage for us. We come together like no other community, because a lot of people come from other places. There are some people that are homegrown, but there's a lot of welcoming here of people from other places. Now, that welcoming needs to include other folks. Now, I have to tell you, I was really glad that Jim Zortman began this inclusion argument, because I said, really, the first black woman, then you make her all about inclusion? Really? But the Inclusion Initiative is one that the Brookings Institute began because here's the game. Inclusion is just smart. It's just smart. Collaboration is smart. Collective vision is smart. Now, the thing about inclusion, however, is that it's not easy. It's so much easier to agree with people that are exactly like you. It's so much easier. But the result you get from collaborating with people that are different than you is a better result. It's a broader vision. It's a vision you can share with more people. We have the opportunity to do something in this city that I believe has the potential to put us on the global map. There's so much division in this country. There's so many people talking past each other, talking through each other, not collaborating. We can do something different. And I say, why not us? If not us, who? We live in a pretty place. Everybody in this room has something to contribute. Why not us? To do this, we have to face some facts. And facts are sometimes difficult to swallow, especially because we have such a significant, successful, and wealthy, I will say, group of people in this room. But everyone in San Diego can't afford to live here. Even people who live here can't afford to live here. We have 100,000 businesses in San Diego. 98% of them are small businesses. We are not a city or a region that's supported by a lot of Fortune 500 companies. We're an entrepreneurship game. That's our secret sauce. We can start something here that can become something bigger. One of my biggest things that I like about San Diego, when we're studying all this data about, when Brookings helped us study all this data about San Diego and the data as far as economic inclusion, one of the best facts we learned is that San Diego has the highest percentage of people that can move from one level economically to another. We have a very significant ability to have economic mobility. You can change generations in San Diego. You can have kids come from one level and go to another level, and their kids go to another level in this town, like most, not other cities. So we need to take advantage of the fact that we have this secret sauce and to expand it and to be a role model for the rest of the country and the world. I'm like saying the world. I'm not just talking about the United States. We've got that. I'm saying the world. Now, one of the things that happens when you talk about these kinds of measures, and this is one of the things that the Brookings Institute dealt with us when we had conversations about this, and when we went to these other cities and we talked to other leaders with respect to these issues, they say, well, isn't that an issue for philanthropy? And our position is, it's more than philanthropy. We want philanthropy. Like, you want to give us money to do these initiatives? We're more than happy to take it, but it's not enough. If philanthropy and business and education join together, then you got something. If you can get a kid a job, then you have something. If you can show a kid that if you get your education and then you can get this job and then you can live in this beautiful place, then you have something. And we can do it. We can do it. One of my favorite quotes is from Albert Einstein, or at least it's attributed to him. I didn't get it from him directly, but it's attributed to him. And the quote is that imagination is more powerful than knowledge, because knowledge is limited by what you already know. And imagination takes you to places where you'll never know. One of my favorite comments is, if the people would have asked Henry Ford, what do you want? People would have said faster horses. because they hadn't imagined a car. That's what we have to do. We have to reimagine this community. We have to reimagine this community where people can graduate from high school and get a job and go to college no matter where they live. We have to imagine that for the demographics in our community for ethnic minorities, there's something, and graduating from college is pretty abysmal. And considering 50% of the people that graduate from college in San Diego actually leave San Diego, we need to do better about attracting people who get educated here and keeping them here, because there's not enough talent to attract. All the cities are trying to attract the same talent. It's Boston, it's San Francisco, it's LA, it's Seattle, it's Portland, it's DC, it's Dallas, Chicago. There's not enough talent for all of the demand. So why not focus on the people we have here? And we can do it. You saw some of the programs that we've discussed with Dr. Brower, and his nickname, just in case, I'm just gonna tell you guys, so you know, it's early. I have not had a cocktail, but I'm just gonna tell you, his name is Bobby B. That's what they call him on campus. That's how connected he is with his students. We need to have leaders who look like the people that they're leading. That's not complicated. Okay, my crowd right here, yay! We know there's gonna be naysayers, there's always naysayers, whatever. And I was gonna say something really hip hop, but my good friend Denise Better says don't say that, so I'm gonna move on. Kaiser has a City Capital Connections program. Jane, where are you? Okay, Jane. Jane, so find Jane. She will tell you about this amazing program. And the reason why it's amazing is because it's a program that's been in other cities and is dedicated to helping small businesses, which is what we mostly are. So why not find ways to do this? And what we want to do is replicate what Jane is doing into other places. So that's an example. We're not going to be just about talk. We're going to talk to you about real things. I'm about done. And I want to just say that we have something, I feel like we have momentum. You know, I feel like we have something going. And so with the thing that's really exciting about this, I want to enlist all of you to play this game with me of reimagining our city and our community as a leader with respect to these issues, to get inspired by it. And I know you come to these business meetings and it's like blah, blah, blah talking, but this time we want it to be different. We have leaders like Julian Parra, who's vice chair, and he's a senior leader with Bank of America. He's not even here, so we'll just clap for him anyway. Now, I'm gonna say their name different, Rafael. The port chair, Rafael Castaneas. I didn't do it very good justice, but you know who you are, Rafe. Now, Malum Burnham. Now, he's not here either, but I got opportunities to work on these trips with Malum, and I'm not gonna tell you what I call him because it'd be inappropriate. But if you see Malum, say to him, Janice Brown says that your nickname is MFB. And he will tell you, and you guys can figure it out, you're all grown people. Debbie and Mary, fabulous icons. And the fact that we had 3 badass women up here, I'm just saying. And then finally, I want to conclude with Bobby B, Dr. Brower. Dr. Brower the fact of the matter is that they support this for year after year after year, and it's such a great event. But I also want to say that he heads up I've been on the executive committee with him, and he exudes the kind of kindness that comes out of his body. I mean, he's such a good person. He makes me want to be a better person on the board. He makes me want to show up for the meetings on time. And for those of you who know me, know that's a challenge, to show up on time. So I want to end this by showing our hashtag. And if you don't know what a hashtag is, ask your kids or your grandkids. And then in addition to that, if you don't have kids or grandkids, you can ask the millennials with EDC. They're all so smart about every damn thing. So ask them, they'll hook you up too. And this is what we're talking about. So we're going to have this program, people have signed up for it so that they can do the kinds of things that Carrie did in the videos, so that we can have a message from all of our businesses that unite people to look at our city, to have people stay in our city. So we're going to have iPads out there tonight. Okay, so where's my EDC folks? Okay, they have the life-changing shirts on. They're easy to identify. They're all hipster with their black shirts, you know, they're all cool. That's who you want to get with, to get on your iPads and sign up. We don't want you to delay. We want you to do it tonight. We have too much work to do. So I want to end this by saying, I could not be more honored than to have this opportunity to speak with you tonight. You can tell that I'm enthusiastic, and I hope that I've given you just a little bit of inspiration so that you can help me reimagine this city in a way that it provides opportunities for everybody in this community, no whether they live east of 8 or north of 5, or they're military, or if they went to whatever college or they didn't go to college. We want to make sure that this is an affordable community for everybody. And with that, thank you, thank you, thank you.